Hello and welcome back to Planet Stronghold Colonial Defence. Let's continue the story. Alex, glad to see you made a full recovery. Miro was quite thorough. Now I know what a puppet feels like. Any word on when the next transport arrives? No. There was some serious fighting near Procyon, and both sides sustained heavy losses. Most of our vessels are either being repaired or need replacement. That's what you get when you let in paper pushers run the war. It's hard to run an interstellar war, Mario, especially without allies. Indeed, our biggest saving grace is that the aliens hate each other more than us. What I find amusing is that many scientists in the 20th century assumed that if a species made it into space, it would automatically be peaceful. They figured a race that advanced would have figured out how to solve their problems. Wishful thinking. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with being optimistic. Except for the fact that people will always transport their problems wherever they go. The Americans felt that during the Age of Exploration, and our colonies suffer it now. Captain, there's a message coming in. Our mining team is reporting they're under heavy fire. Another Matric attack? No. These are aliens, but crystalline in structure. Crystalline? Sounds interesting. That they are. I don't know what happened, but the Paladrians are slow to anger. And the Paladrians are refusing communications. That's just becoming disturbingly commonplace. Anyway, time to go earn my pay. Mission 12. Quadrant Mu. Just topping up my glass of water. Christophe, just what kind of reception are we expecting? The manning equipment is in Quadrant Mu. It is all desert, but at one time it was a large sea. Occasionally the winds will reveal some amazing fossils. No doubt in some private collection. A few, sure, but most of them are actually in museums. Xavier was quite adamant about it. Xavier? Not surprising, he is quite the connoisseur. I explained the Paladrian's interest. This area is one of the largest deposits of gallstones, and the Paladrians hold them in religious regard. Well, we harvest them for their power. Maybe there is a deeper connection. Still, they haven't attacked before now, so there has to be some other reason they went to battle. I don't know. This pace, I wonder if we should put a moratorium on mining. Pardon? I know, it's mostly coincidental, but think. The Matric devastated our colony after we destroyed part of their city. The rubber brains kept slithering up from the pit in their home. Now we're facing an attack by living jewelry. And they're still refusing communication? Yes, there's nothing but a high-pitched static coming from their end. Yeah, we actually get the full 30 cards. Excellent. Okay, in we go. Okay, let's get a sharpshooter in. And it might be worth sticking an automatic repair drone in there. Because its attack isn't particularly strong, but with the healing ability it's worth it. Get some spiked iron vines up, because that does decent damage, and get a regular infantryman up, because that does decent damage as well. Okay, the sharpshooter is protected by the wall, so I think I'm going to have the opportunity to open fire. Take it that's a wall type thing, is it? Yep. I'll give some regular infantrymen up. Target. 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 Yeah, let's get a cannon turret in there. Now. Okay. One of the infantrymen can destroy it. And then everybody else can pile on over there. Okay, regular infantry deploy. And everyone open fire. You've got to admit that, I'm a wee bit overpowered at the moment. I'm totally okay with that, by the way. Your soldiers are defeated. Will you now talk to me? Sorrow. Death. What did you expect when you attacked my people? No. Death of shardlings. Death of young. We didn't kill any children. You harvest elder stones. Young, now powder. Captain, he may be right. Where the gnarl stones were harvested, we've located a blue powder. It shares some structure with the paladrains. Pull back. If there's even a possibility our people did what we're accused of, we must stop. Oh great, have we been accidentally murdering an alien race's children while mining? 'Cause that's awkward. Alex, we have a serious problem. What? Did the paladrains break through? We defeated the paladrains. After the battle I spoke with their leader. What he said was rather disturbing. The Shardhead said we killed their children. Bullshit! We would never stoop so low. They would hardly be the first species to throw their children into battle. However, I've never faced any in my encounters. And that's because you never would have. Pardon? I did a report for Imperial Astrographic. I managed to visit one of their cities once. Didn't see a single child among them. And there's a reason for that. Until they reach their equivalent of puberty, Paladrain young are sedentary. At least it makes them easy on the babysitter. Don't they have school? I've had dreams, sometimes when I hear music, like chimes in the wind, thinking there was voices behind it. Researchers believe they learn through telepathic exposure. Osmotic learning? I would have made school more bearable. I could have skipped history. Barely passed the final exam on the Unification Wars. Paladrain young still grow to small beds called clusters, near gnarlstones. Actually, yes. Just as its radiation can cause gigantism among certain animals, it stimulates growth in the paladrain, just not so extreme. And the miners were harvesting gallstones. I have a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach. I think I know the answer, but were we invading Paladrain land? I can't give you a yes or no answer. Oh, it's fairly easy when you know where a city is, but we haven't exactly been on speaking terms with most of the aliens. Can you blame them? Hell, anyone even looking at our own history would be hard-pressed to trust us from the start. Typical apologist. If you look at their own accounts, they are much better. No, but that doesn't mean that humans can take the moral high ground either. Oh, not this again. You two are giving me a headache. Not to mention the aliens sometimes have a different way of looking at things. Indeed. Just look at the Dradens. They're nomadic by nature. The only boundary they recognize is where they rest at the end of the day. And you don't know where the Matric Warrens are until you break into them. Then you have the Apex Ran, who figure they already own everything. Lucius, can you bring up the mining site? Affirmative. And anticipating your question, yes, I detect the crystalline lattices which correspond to known Paladrain configurations. Then it is true. We killed children? The miners did. Did they know better? Or did they just not care? I doubt it was deliberate, but looking at the pictures of the site, if you didn't know better, you would think it was just trash crystals mixed in with the gnarl stones. Alex, based on what we know, we have to try and make this right. Mitsuki, contact the Paladrains. They are refusing, Captain. I don't care how you do it, bring them on screen. You leave, slayers of children. I'm sorry, but no. We need to talk. Why? To revel in our sorrow? No, never. Your sorrows are ours and we wish to bridge them. No forgiveness. Maybe resolution. Give slayers of young. What will you do with them? Children sleep. Endless sleep. Murderers will join children. You can't just hand our people over, you might as well kill them yourself. If someone had harmed my daughter, I demand the head of the one who hurt her. Sometimes you have to sacrifice the few for the many. I don't know if you ever saw what passes for Paladrain justice. Let's just say I'll have to censor the footage. Interesting dilemma. Legally, you can remand the accused over to the Paladrains for judgment, or retain custody yourself. The crime is one of ignorance. I understand wanting justice, but more blood isn't the answer. Choose carefully. The people won't be pleased if they figure they could disappear when expedient. There's only one way to balance justice's scales. Maybe you could do some kind of wereguild. Acknowledge wrong, but not deliberate. however this goes, we should warn people against going beyond our borders. So, what do you think we should do? There has to be a middle ground. I'm not handing over a bunch of miners to get executed for an honest mistake. I appreciate that honest mistake led to a hell of a lot of deaths, but that there is a reason why negligence leading to death doesn't have the death penalty. Admittedly, I don't happen to believe in the death penalty generally, but I come from a country where we did away with it quite a long time ago, actually, relatively speaking. So that's probably clouded my cultural, ideas about it, but anywho, let's try to find some other agreement. Just like the Drayden, think life can be bought. Unsatisfactory. Reluctantly accept. Don't think I can be sold as cheaply. Looks like a ferryman won't get his due today. Ooh, new Empire cards. Robo-Ants. Grenadier. Ooh, Grenadiers and Assault Infantry. Promising, promising. Ooh, and a missile turret. Gonna be curious to see some of these in action. So, what do we get? Grenadier unit. On summon, deal 2 damage to a target enemy unit. Ooh. We've got some stars to upgrade them. Assault Infantry. And it can attack on the turn it's played. That's potentially very handy. But of course they're more expensive than regular infantry. Anti-flying deals double damage against units. Yeah. Potentially useful. Right, so what can I afford to get rid of? Don't need the wall cards. I can get rid of at least 1 or 2 of those. And the Robo-Ants double attack, which is very useful. Take out Assault, because I don't tend to, I haven't had an opportunity to use it, and frankly I don't think I will. I think I could probably take out the Recruiter as well, because she has her uses, don't get me wrong, but I don't use her that much. That gives me a half dozen guards to play with, so... Put some Grenadiers in, and some Assault Infantry, and some Robo-Ants. Okay. I'll leave the missile turrets out for now, and if I can figure out a way to get them in later, I will. But for now, I think I'm going to... okay, how many stars have I got? 3 at the moment, isn't it? So I think I'll upgrade each of them to level 2 silver level. And that still leaves me a star left over, I think. Yeah, it does. That's okay, so... Everybody available for team talk, apart from these 2, because they're not very chatty. And how many missions? No, wrong screen. How many missions we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Half a dozen missions, and a dozen people to talk to. So 2 conversations, mission, 2 conversations, mission. Oh, no, I'll do mission, then 2 conversations, mission, then 2 conversations, so on and so forth. So let's start with a basic Great Assault mission. So let's test out this new deck. Okay. Get a marksman in there. Let's get our own turret in there. And let's get a battle drone in there. And we can afford to deploy the spiked iron vines as well. Assault infantry. Again, attack on the same turn they played. So, we need to take out that turret. We need to do it with reasonable haste. Once that turret is gone, and they deploy a blooming typical. Okay, I'm going to leave the flamethrower turret for now. Okay, so you and you can deploy that wall. Deploy that wall, destroy that wall. But I've got 30 seconds left to finish this before the end of this part. I don't think I'm going to make it. No, I'm not. So I'm going to end this part here and say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next.